I'm Natalie, and welcome to Life After a Cult, where we expose high control groups, break down culty manipulation tactics, and laugh at the absurdities along the way. Because sometimes, if you don't laugh, you might just scream. Grab your coffee, grab your emotional support animal, and let's talk culty. Have you ever wondered why some online communities feel less like fandoms and more like a secret society? Well, today we're asking the important questions. Is your favorite content creator running a full blown cult? And more importantly, are you in it? If you're already getting defensive, you might be in too deep. But don't worry, we're here to laugh, learn, and possibly reevaluate our life choices. Cult expert Dr. Stephen Hassan created something called the BITE model to determine whether or not something is a cult. If your favorite YouTuber has a doctrine of no unsubscribing, you might want to run. But what does this actually look like in an online social media cult? Let's break it down. Behavior control. Are they dictating how you should spend your time? Do they encourage you to flood comment sections, brigade other creators, or isolate yourself from people who don't get it? If your favorite creator says, "All right, team, grab your pitchforks and go destroy my enemy," in their comment section, congratulations, you've just been recruited into the keyboard warrior army. If they start treating internet drama like a medieval battle, maybe it's time to log off and touch some grass, do some grounding, get out there in the sun, enjoy. Remember what trees look like and birds sound like. Information control. Do they act like the only trustworthy source of truth?
I'm the only trustworthy source of truth.
If they're saying, "Don't listen to anyone but me, everyone else is lying," congrats. You've entered the Truman Show of content creation. Thought control. Do they push a specific mindset as the only correct way to think? If you even consider questioning them and your brain starts screaming, that's a sign you might be drinking the digital Kool-Aid. Emotional control. Do they guilt trip you into staying engaged? If you really cared, you donate, share, and devote your life to this community. Or worse, do they act like you owe them your loyalty just because they once liked your comment? Listen, your love for a creator should not come with emotional blackmail. It's a content channel, not a toxic friendship. If they start making you feel like a bad person for missing a live stream, it might be time to reevaluate, because last I checked, skipping one video has never caused the collapse of civilization. Let's talk about some signs your favorite creator.
Is a cult leader.
Now, being part of a community online is not a bad thing. That can be a very healthy situation where people can find support and camaraderie and even become friends. Let's talk about the charismatic leader effect. They have a way of making you feel like you're part of something special until you step out of line, until you no longer say or behave in the way that they feel is best. And this goes both ways. It can be on the part of the content creator, but also on the part of the viewer. Are you emotionally blackmailing the content creator? If you don't say or do as I say, then XYZ will happen. Are you using emotional blackmail? Are they using emotional blackmail on you? One day they're calling their audience their best friends. The next, they're on a 3-hour live stream naming names and dramatically sighing about how betrayed they feel because someone dared to question them. Remember when that YouTuber completely flipped out because someone dared to suggest they might not be the absolute best? One slightly critical comment about their cooking skills, and suddenly there's a 45-minute rant about betrayal and fake fans, all because someone pointed out that maybe, just maybe, their souffle looked more like a pancake. Yeah, not a great sign. If they turn every tiny critique into a full scale public meltdown, complete with vague, "some people are fake" posts, congratulations, you found a digital cult leader. Look at Ruby Frankie. She used YouTube and Instagram, basically social media, to recruit for her cult. How did they recruit? Ruby Frankie, a former family vlogger, and Jody Hildebrand used their platform to promote abusive parenting techniques under the guise of truth. They told parents that disobedient children should be cut off, starved, or punished harshly, echoing cult like shunning tactics. Followers were encouraged to report each other, creating an environment of control and paranoia, very similar to the cult I grew up in, which is Scientology, which has a snitch culture where siblings, parents, kids, friends could all be snitching on each other through a series of reports that Scientology has you write. Because if you don't report on a fellow Scientologist when they're stepping out of line, you, my friend, will be found guilty of those same crimes. That is the viewpoint of Scientology, and let's be real, of a lot of cults. Are you familiar with Teal Swan and the completion process? She's known as running a new age cult. She uses multiple social media platforms, gaslighting, trauma bonding. Basically, it's manipulation through spirituality. Now, how does someone like that recruit? A new age influencer targets vulnerable people struggling with mental health issues. She encourages trauma excavation and claims to have supernatural abilities to see past lives and unresolved pain. Her followers are isolated from critics, and her methods encourage unaliving ideation, often framing death as a form of relief. Now, the outcome of that, mental health professionals have warned against her influence, and multiple former members have spoken out about the dangerous impacts of her teachings. Let's talk about parasocial relationships and how this plays into the whole mess. You, me, and a one sided love story. Do you ever talk about your favorite content creator like they're your best friend? Ever start a sentence with, so my friend said, and then you realize your friend is a person who doesn't know you exist? Congratulations, you're in a parasocial relationship. Wait a minute. This is hitting a little close to home for me with a couple of content creators that I follow. I'm feeling attacked by this statement. So, what is a parasocial relationship? Parasocial relationships actually started with the advent of television when TV hosts, newscasters, and sitcom stars entered people's homes daily. Audiences began feeling a personal connection to them, even though the relationship was completely one sided. Imagine thinking you and Mr. Rogers were besties just because he talked to you through the screen. And yes, I did think that as a child growing up. Let's talk about when standing gets scary. There was a certain pop star whose fans flooded a restaurant's Yelp page with bad reviews just because the owner said they weren't a fan. The chaos of online book fandoms, where a mildly critical Goodreads review can turn into a full scale Twitter war. How dare you not give it 5 stars? All right, let's run through the Are You in a Drama Cult checklist with the help of actual experts because let's face it, some of y'all only believe something if a PhD says it. Are people trying to control what you say, who you associate with, and how you think? Dr. Steve Hassan said, one of the hallmarks of high control groups is thought reform, where you're trained to monitor and police not just your own thoughts but the thoughts of others as well. That's right. If people are demanding you cut off friends, censor your opinions, or
Prove your loyalty.
congratulations, they're trying to program you like a Windows 95 computer. Is there an us versus them mentality? Dr. Lalish says high control groups thrive on black and white thinking, us versus them, good versus evil, loyal versus traitor. This shuts down critical thinking and keeps people trapped in a cycle of obedience. If someone's acting like you're either 100% with them or you're an enemy agent, spoiler alert, that's culty behavior, not free discourse. Are people in that community more obsessed with personalities over actual issues? Dr. Alexandra Stein said cults and authoritarian groups use personal attacks and smear campaigns to distract from real issues. This prevents reform and keeps members locked in drama instead of solutions. So, if you're spending hours dissecting someone's tone instead of, oh, I don't know, exposing human rights violations, maybe it's time for a priorities check. Are you afraid of having an opinion because of social consequences? Dr. Robert J. Lifton said, When a group makes it unsafe to express independent opinions, that's a sign of coercive control. True freedom means being able to think, question, and even disagree without fear of punishment. A big way we were controlled in Scientology, a cult I spent 35 years in and escaped with three generations of my family, fear, threats, making it unsafe to have independent opinions very much happened on a regular basis. We see that a lot today with internet cults. If expressing a mildly different opinion gets you metaphorically burned at the stake, congratulations, you just found a digital cult campfire. How do you break free? Just in case you are looking at this and listening, going, oh my gosh, I might be in an online cult. We've discussed the problem people acting like cult leaders without the tax exempt status. But don't worry, we've got solutions. Here's how to break free from online culty behavior. Recognize the manipulation. If someone is trying to control you with guilt, fear, or pressure, it's not free thinking, it's mind control. If the only way to stay in the group is by agreeing with everything they say, congratulations. You've just won an all expense paid trip to Thought Control Island, population U. Resist the drama vortex. If you find yourself about to type a 500-word dissertation in a Facebook argument, take a deep breath, step away from the keyboard, and ask yourself, am I fighting for justice or just feeding the drama machine? Practice independent thinking. Remember, critical thinking is like deodorant. The people who need it the most never use it. So if someone freaks out because you asked a simple question, they probably weren't looking for a discussion. They were looking for obedience. Now, I'm not talking about accusations you go in and make in a creator's live stream or comments that has a question on it. We all know the difference between being petty, making an accusation with a question mark on it, and something asked out of genuine curiosity or trying to discuss an issue. There is a difference, and we all know when we're doing it. Don't feed the trolls. Some people wake up and choose violence, others wake up and choose rage posting. Either way, you don't have to be their audience. Let them scream into the void while you enjoy your coffee in peace. Focus on the mission, not the ego battles. We're here to take down abusive systems, not each other. If your time is spent policing tone instead of exposing real harm, you might just be part of the distraction. Keep your eyes on the prize, not the petty internet fight. Now, let's talk about what healthy online communities look like. It's possible to love content without losing yourself. You can be a fan without turning into the human embodiment of a defense attorney at a trial where the defendant doesn't even know your name. Healthy online spaces are easy to spot. They allow open discussion. They don't punish people for thinking differently. Basically, you can say, hey, I didn't love that video without being banished like you just insulted the royal family. The creator in a healthy parasocial relationship sets boundaries. They don't encourage obsessive devotion. If they ever say, I don't want you to fight my battles for me, congratulations, you're in a non toxic fandom. If they say,
Pack my loyal army.
that's your cue to dip. A healthy online space encourages a variety of perspectives and doesn't make their community feel like an echo chamber. If everyone is required to agree with everything the creator says 100% of the time, that's not a discussion, that's a dictatorship. A healthy space lets you say, hey, I didn't totally vibe with that last video. It's important that you protect your mental health online. If social media is making you feel like you need a vacation from the internet, here's some expert backed advice. Set boundaries. If you wouldn't let a random person scream at you in real life, why allow it online? Mute, block, repeat. Limit doom scrolling. If your thumb has a six pack from excessive scrolling, it's time to take a break. Follow diverse voices. If everyone you follow agrees with you, congratulations, you've built an echo chamber. Engage in mindfulness practices. The American Psychological Association highlights that mindfulness practices can support mental health by helping individuals focus on controllable aspects of their situation. Engaging in activities like meditation or breathing exercises can provide a mental rest. Remember, at the end of the day, It's just the internet. Log off, touch grass, and don't let online drama rent space in your brain rent free. What do you do if you are in an online cult? Yes, even the friendly kind. Look, cults don't always scream,
Join us, drink the Kool-Aid.
sometimes they whisper, "We're the only real community that understands you." Questioning us means you're against us. If you leave, you'll regret it. Red flag alert. Dr. Steve Hassan, cult expert and author, said high control groups use fear, guilt, and exclusivity to trap people. If leaving feels like betraying a family, that's by design. So, what does that mean? If the group makes you feel like abandoning them means abandoning your soul, run. Let's talk about an exit strategy. Start asking yourself, am I allowed to disagree? Can I follow other creators without getting side eyed? Still be valued here if I stopped engaging? If the answers are no, or I don't know, but let me ask the leader first, you're dealing with thought control headquarters. Resist the guilt trip. It's not first class travel anyway. One of the oldest cult tactics is guilt tripping you into staying. Expect messages like, "We made you who you are. After all we've done for you, you're just gonna leave? Guess you never really cared about this community." Guilt is one of the most powerful control mechanisms. The group must convince you that leaving is a personal failure rather than an act of independence. Reality check. You don't owe eternal loyalty just because you once left a nice comment. You're not betraying a country, you're unsubscribing from a YouTuber. Remind yourself healthy communities respect personal choices. Your worth is not defined by your loyalty to an internet personality. If a group needs guilt to keep you, maybe that's not great to begin with. Expect the backlash, AKA you're dead to us phase. Once you leave, some former cult mates might not take it well. You've changed. You've been brainwashed by the haters. You were never a true fan. Dr. Stein, a cult researcher, explains when someone leaves, the group must villainize them to prevent others from following. They use fear to make staying seem safer than leaving. Expect some digital fireworks if you decide to leave and you are in an online cult. Mute, block, and move on. You don't need to write a 500-word explanation post. You're leaving, not submitting a resignation letter. Then it's a good idea to detox from the drama and find new non culty spaces. High control online groups keep you hooked through constant engagement and emotional highs and lows. One day it's we're the best community ever. The next it's the haters are attacking. Defend us. It's exhausting. You deserve peace. Dr. Lifton, a mind control expert, explains a key feature of cult is thought reform, replacing independent thinking with group dogma. To deprogram, one must engage in new perspectives and environments. Mute the noise, unfollow, unsubscribe, and take a break. Reintroduce variety. Follow different perspectives, not just one echo chamber. Rediscover actual hobbies. Yes, life exists beyond comment section wars. Reclaim your critical thinking. Your brain is yours again. The biggest sign you've successfully escaped. You feel free to question things. You don't feel pressure to prove your loyalty. You can disagree without fear of exile. Give yourself permission to be a fan without being a follower. Dr. Hassan says true freedom means being able to engage, question, and even walk away without fear. And remember, if a creator ever says, if you leave, you'll regret it, you're not in a fan base. You're in a cult. So exit stage left, preferably toward fresh air and a reality check. So, what have we learned today? Some content creators walk a fine line between community leader and digital cult overlord. If you recognize some of these red flags, congratulations. You now have the knowledge to avoid getting sucked into an internet based personality cult. If you don't recognize any of these red flags, you might already be in too deep. Blink twice if you need help. Remember, it's okay to enjoy a creator's content without dedicating your entire existence to them. You don't have to take a blood oath just because you liked their last video. If you had fun today, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more mildly unhinged content like this. Or don't. I'm not your cult leader. I hope you get out in the world and you have an amazing cult free day.